Okay, we're on.
All right, hello.
So who wants to go first?
We're supposed to highlight the main points of our analysis with our partners instance of practice. So go ahead and highlight Sherry's first if you want, or someone else want to go first. All right, so Sherry's, the three things that I tied your practice to, the first one was transactional strategies of instruction. I felt that a lot of the transactions, like a lot of the meetings we were having with your students, kind of lined up with that. Basically, conducting those meetings with them helped your students kind of understand what background information they need.
Coriana Gale, please meet your ride at the front door. Coriana Gale, please meet your ride at the front door.
I'm getting a lot of interruptions. Yeah, I felt that kind of that transaction, the conversations you have with students kind of help them transact with the text and help them kind of understand the things they should be looking for in the text, understand what aspects they should use to decode nonfiction texts. So that was the first thing I talked about. Schema theory. So schema, you talk a lot about using background information, building that background information with the students, so they could understand what's happening. One of the things I thought was interesting was the fact that you said you didn't have a whole lot of information with regards to that book that you used, and so building up that background information, you were both kind of you were learning with your students. I thought that was a really interesting thing. And the last thing that I talked about sociolinguist history because of these conversations, because of the conversations you were having with students, as well as the students were having with each other. Dr. Bucher didn't care for that, and so one of the things I'd like to talk to you with, and she'd like to connect your practice with new literacy theory or critical theory. I was kind of wanting to get your perspective on that, see if there's some insight you can kind of give me so I can go back and change my paper with regards to that.
So the one that she did not like was the socio-cultural history?
Sociocultural historical.
Okay.
Did she say specifically why? I'm just curious.
I'd have to look at the comments and see if I can pull those up.
Because I thought you did a really great job, actually. Everything seemed to fit well into what I'm thinking.
The primary tenet of this theory is this relation to culture and history as students learn through mediated social interactions. And so a lot of it was social interactions. So those things that we talked about, how you had those meetings with them. And she said it wasn't really a whole lot different from schema theory.
Well, I'm looking at the theory, the table that people worked on. Have you looked at that?
I cannot find it. I'd love to be able to.
It's called LTP theory table. I don't know. I just found, because I've looked at it so many times, it's in the drive, or it's in my drive now. But
where it is on the actual regimen, because I've tried to look for it. I asked Blake for help with it. He couldn't find it either.
I could try to find it right now. But I feel like I've really gone to that theory table. That's like helped me a lot.
And that's something that I think would help me out.
Because as I'm looking at the sociocultural historical theory, it says social interaction as the mediator for developing meaning in texts. And then, but this part kind of like makes me think maybe this is where she had an issue with what you wrote, what you thought about it. It says using funds of knowledge to tap into students' learning.
Yeah, which I guess I really wasn't doing. I wasn't going into their backgrounds and their own experiences. That's true.
Yeah, but that's just maybe. I mean, I don't know for sure, but maybe that's the part that was missing. And then she recommended which theory?
She recommended new literacy theory, as well as new literacy studies or critical literacies. And either of those, Frere's work didn't seem to really go along with that, because a lot of that is using, let's say that your students were marginalized for some reason, taking that and then using it to teach them literacy. This is why you're being marginalized, and so this things you can do to better your community, and through those actions, that's how they're learning literacy. And I didn't really see that in your practice. And the other one is new literacy studies, which is basically like using the ways in which students communicate at home as a way to learn literacy. Like using things like their knowledge of Tokuman is what's in the book. They talk about how the use of like prefixes. Pokemon uses apparently certain prefixes to mean certain things, and so they can use that to teach prefixes and suffixes of standard American English. And so that's I wasn't seeing that in there either, so I wasn't sure how to apply those. So I may have to contact her and see.
Teresa, if you've got that chart pulled up,
Yeah.
if you could look at the critical literacies, because that's sort of what I was.
So let me share this chart with you, because maybe that will help. I mean, I know I'm finding it in ReggieNet might be a pain. So
I was talking about the chart. I remember seeing it, but then like I could never find it again.
yeah.
I remember finding it once, but I had to go back through each of the week's lessons to find it again. I'm not gonna do that right now, but when we're on.
Let me send it to you. It's going to be sent to your ISU email. And yeah, okay, I sent you the link. And the critical literacy theory, the description of it in the chart is emphasizes individual and social transformation, promotes individual learning and an awareness of how individuals' lives are impacted by social structures. So I think that it sounds like it could, I haven't read the Fred Korematsu Speaks Up or your whole lesson, but
I think that's the one that fits.
seems like it could. The new literacies, it says literacy, or new literacy studies, it says literacy is ideological. Literacy practices change as the world does.
Wow, well, I can see why she picked that one too. Because I definitely foster them getting an understanding of where the social justices lie, and I'm really big in social justice, so I kind of can lean toward that one as well. I mean, that's the whole purpose of why I picked the Fred Korematsu book, is to bring in the social justice piece, but then also I'm using it to show the difference between fiction and nonfiction. So, that said, Eric, I'm not sure. I think it could go either way. But I think if you want to plug into my social justice passion part of it, I would go with the new literacy.
And I misspoke earlier about the transaction, but what I was talking about with them is the modeling of the strategies.
Yeah.
That's really what they're getting at with those. I was thinking of the school theory when I was talking about that earlier.
Got it.
But yeah, I think critical literacy, I could maybe go off of the actual book itself. Just to kind of talk about
For sure.
Maybe that's what she's getting at.
Yeah, and again, I do choose on purpose. Like, I don't just pick a book because, in fact, that book's not even part of our mentor text list. It was when I chose Rogue. So I choose for reasons. So I think you could go with that, that it was chosen on purpose and why.
Okay. All right. I still didn't get that chart. It's on your screen there. Did you share it with?
You didn't get the table?
No. You can share it with my Gmail.
Okay.
Are you both seeing my screen, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see your screen. So I can see the table on your screen. I just wanted that.
Okay.
Okay, what is your Gmail again?
Eric, E-R-I-C, Stegemann, Stegemann, @mail.com.
For some reason, it's not popping up. try that. Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, that should help. That really helped me. I feel like understand a little bit better.
Why should we be able to use that reminder?
Yeah. I can go next if you want. So just highlighting the different theories and parts of your lesson that I pulled out. The multiliteracies and new literacies theory. Just because you stated that you didn't want to do the run of the mill poetry lesson or poetry unit, and that you kind of took something and made it your own, and taught the kids about something more relevant to themselves, like the slam poetry. The critical sociocultural theory, you kind of allowed your students to learn more about themselves, I thought, through your poetry unit. And then you talked about how some of your students really shared with you that they had that they had difficult life experiences and were able to kind of tell you more about themselves through their poetry. And then the transactional reader response theory. How you kind of introduced them to the Louder Than a Bomb documentary using the Ed puzzle. So it kind of was the transaction between the text and the reader, because they were able to respond. They watched parts of the video and then they would respond. And then the other, I think that was really it. Just in my concluding thoughts, I kind of said there was something that I was going to say. How maybe I already did this. After the students did the Ed puzzle to watch and respond to the documentary, did you do any like talking about the lesson, or talking about their responses afterward, or talking about their responses to the
not
different
with those
poems?
specific ones. We did like subsequent poems, so we would watch more slam poems and use a lot of the dialogue that used in those poems. So I would talk about things that I had seen when I was reviewing responses when you watch the other poems.
Okay.
I can speak, having worked in the same building with Eric for a while, I can speak to the fact that his slam poetry is a hit throughout the whole school, because the students do dig deep into their personal stories. A lot of students that you wouldn't expect to share are able to share, and it's pretty amazing what we as teachers in the building learned about them as well. Things we didn't know that they've never brought out, but yet in his slam poetry they did. So kudos, Eric, because I always thought that was really amazing that you got them to go there.
It's been just like yesterday, because we're doing the unit right now. She shared her slam poem. Her slam poem was about how she's always striving for perfection. That sometimes causes her to stay up till 1 in the morning doing homework and rechecking this and rechecking that, and causes her tons of anxiety. And she was up there crying, the whole class was crying. It's amazing some of the stuff that these kids will share and will write about it. And I asked her, does it feel better? And she says, yes, it feels better too.
Yeah, it's almost like a therapy session. That's what we always talked about, was you were giving them all this therapy and they were getting some things out, and learning it about themselves, I think, was key for them to grow. So,
especially working with, they're a little bit older students. I'm the third grade, and they want to share everything at the lower elementary.
Yeah, they don't
school
at 8th grade.
And by the time they're in middle school, they are they want to shut you out. So,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I think that when they see so many examples of people talking about issues that they have in their own life, and issues that we talk a lot about how those issues are not just issues that we have as individuals. There are things that other people have those same issues, and talking about them can be cathartic for yourself, but also be a way to share commonalities, things that you might not have, that this other might have that as well. And so I've seen a couple people come up and talk and say, I'm kind of experiencing the same thing. And so it's starting a dialogue outside of class.